So let's finish up the main Superman franchise, although I will do an announcement concerning where I'm going to go after this, but we'll get there. So we go to Superman Returns, and well, yeah, it's not bad at all. I never hated on this movie like other people did. Oh, his logo's too small. Oh, he's, the storyline doesn't make any sense. It does. Especially if you watch all of them in a row like I have. At least the first two coincide with this. The only thing to me that doesn't make sense is the beginning of the movie. So there's a text at the beginning where it says that Superman left 5 years earlier to because he found out that that his planet of Krypton may still exist somewhere out there, so he left. And they somehow had to explain how Clark left too. I don't know. But now it's 5 years later, and he crashes back on Earth in his mom's backyard. Because in this version, 3 and 4 haven't happened yet, so his mom didn't pass away. In the third one, she passes away. In the fourth one, he's trying to sell the farm. Well, those don't exist, so... And from what I can gather, this is taking off because they hadn't released the Richard Donner cut yet. So this is taking after the original theatrical release, Richard Lester cut. And it makes sense. So 5 years later, Lois has a 4-year-old son named Jason. I think he's 4. And as we know now, thanks to the Arrowverse, it's been confirmed that that is Superman's son. And being as I watched Richard Donner cut, I had to think for a minute, how does that make any sense? He reversed time, so they never actually slept together. But, here's the but. So going after the theatrical cut, all he did was kiss her to get rid of the memories. So she still would have gotten pregnant. That being said, she would have had to have met Jason right after Superman 2 for it to happen. Just saying. For it to work out that way. She's so sure it's Jason's because she doesn't remember sitting with Superman because of the memory thing. And it works. Brandon Routh, he's got a lot of criticism, but I think he's a decent Superman, and he's good on Legends of Tomorrow as well. Too bad he's leaving, but I think he's a decent Superman. If anyone had to replace Christopher Reeve, besides Tom Welling, but there was rumors that Tom Welling was offered the role, but he was too busy with Smallville, and that would make sense. No one really makes sense either, because he's supposed to be playing, Christopher Reeve Superman, while also playing his own Superman, and his own Clark Kent, who talked to Christopher Reeve, character played by Christopher Reeve, and that is, it makes more sense that it has someone else. The plane thing that's actually in the movie, the plane thing here, he saves Lois, who's on the plane. Lex Luthor's villain once again. I didn't plan that, by the way, but it does. That does work. That's what I have to say. He's Lex. I understand, if I remember correctly, they were planning on doing other things with sequels to this, but sequels never got made. But Lex Luthor creates his own kind of world, and it's made of kryptonite, and that's how he says it. But Superman is able to push it out of the atmosphere, but it becomes a second Krypton. And that would have played a part in the sequel. And supposedly, it was supposed to feature Brainiac, which I've been waiting to have a live-action version of. And I know he's on Krypton. But that show got canceled after 2 seasons. And I didn't even finish season 1 yet. So I bought the DVD. Season 2 came out on TV, and I bought the DVD of season 1. And then I found out that the show was canceled. So I'm like, well, what the hell's the point? You know? But I do digress. It's just, yeah. The whole having a son thing. Well, in context, it works. Because it makes sense. If you watch Superman 2, which I did, whether either one, if it makes more sense with the theatrical cut, but yeah. There's this thing at the beginning with Lex Luthor, which doesn't really explain where he's been. This is coming right after Superman 2, or 5 years after Superman 2. So, and like I said, I don't remember the theatrical cut. But if he was still at the, it's made known he knows where the Fortress of Solitude is. So, and because, the smooch only erased Lois's memory. He's not like smooch Lex Luthor, but he's got it somewhere. But Lex has been, being suave and kind of hitting on this old lady, and she's passed away, and he's inherited everything. She wrote, she signed it away to him, the last breath, and he's inherited everything. And uses that to fund the mission to make this kryptonite world, using a crystal from the Force of Solitude and some refined kryptonite that he has. And like I said, man gets rid of it eventually, but not without help from Lois and her fiance, Richard. And of course, the son Jason is there. And, there's a scene where Lex Luthor's making his speech and he's holding the kryptonite and he looks at Jason and Jason looks like he's, a little weirded out by it. And he's like, whose son is he? Who's his father? And she says, Richard. And he's like, are you sure about that? If you're going by Superman 2, she wouldn't remember that it was. But like I said, she would have to have met Jason right after and gotten together and did the nasty and given birth. They continue the whole thing with Margot Kidder's Lois, where she sometimes smokes. They put that in there so that that's okay. There's one thing there's one scene I question. This is PG-13, but there's a scene where after they rescue Lois, I think it's the plane thing, or something like that. It's somewhere in the movie where after he rescues Lois, he does the the X-ray vision, and you see body insides, intestines and stuff. I'm like, not a little risque for PG-13, but who knows? But yeah, guys, this movie is not bad as everyone says it is. It's decent compared to 3 and 4, especially 3. And yeah, let's talk about this because they parodied this in Epic movie. There's the scene, I don't know, this always gets me. Superman bursts onto a roof. There's a guy with a turret gun, and then after the turret gun runs out of bullets, the guy grabs a gun and points it right in Superman's face, right in his eye, and fires it. And the bullet fires into Superman's eye and just pfft, and then it falls down. Okay. Interesting choice, Bryan Singer. But it was parodied in Epic Movie, which I got right away because I'm a fan of this. But I was just like, will there really do you have to show this eyeball is also invulnerable? Is that really, you need to make that a point? But guys, this one's pretty good compared to the last two. So for Superman Returns, I gotta give it an 8 out of 10. What are your thoughts on Superman Returns? Let me know in the comment below. like, share, and subscribe. And one last thing. So I finished the main Superman series, and I finished the main Batman series. Although I do have a few animated ones I want to get to eventually. Maybe I'll do those next. I don't know, but eventually, irregardless, I'm going to start venturing into the DCEU. You know, we got Wonder Woman 1984 next year, so you get all these watched and reviewed before that. I might as well do it now. I may do the animated Batman films in there as well. I got there's 3, right? Well, Batman Superman movie, I guess you can put together as well, but that's more like episodes of Superman animated series, but I don't know. I'm going to do those reviews. And then the DCEU reviews as well. So, yeah. So, like I said, what are your thoughts on Superman Returns? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you.